My devil's eye was turning yellow, lost half its leaves, right there in the corner, beside the coffee machine. Gave up without warning, didn't see it at first, turned my back for a moment to it loosen its thirst, and I curse my blunder, pick petals for keeps, and I can't help but wonder what led up to this. Did I cut the water? What ended the street? But something feels off here. I can't recall that I did. And if I stopped caring, one time's always the last. Was it too much sunlight? Too much weight in my hands? Some look like a medal right before they leave. Was facing a window, but didn't get air to breathe. My devil's eye was turning yellow, but I'm sensing some grief. So maybe in time, maybe it might just do well again. So maybe in time, maybe we might just do well again.
I've been down, I've been everywhere, but I'm alright now, I'm alright. I nearly drowned in my own despair, but I'm alright now, yeah. Baby, you can turn the rain into gold. Couldn't stop, always messing around, but that has changed now, that has changed. I never thought I could settle down, but that has changed now, that has changed. Baby, you can turn the rain into gold. So, this is what it means to fall in love. I like it. I used to think Another wasted night, but not anymore. No, no. Baby, you can turn the rain into gold. So this is what it means to fall in love. I like it.
I get the vibe that you're distant. There's something about you that's different. I see it in your eyes. Something isn't right. Tell me again what I'm missing. 'Cause you're fading out. We've been here before. Tell me again, just tell me again. Tell me again, just tell me again, and I'll make it right. It is a lie when you tell me that nothing is wrong, just leave it be. But I see it in your eyes, something isn't right. Tell me again what I'm missing. 'Cause you're fading out. We've been here before. Tell me again, just tell me again, and I'll make it right. Don't go through that door. Tell me again, just tell me again, and I'll make it right. How will I make it right? Make it right. Tell me again, just tell me again, and I'll. 'Cause you're fading out. We've been here before. Tell me again, just tell me again, and I'll make it right. Don't go through that door. Tell me again, just tell me again, and I'll make it right. Tell me again. Tell me again.
Beside the fire, staring at the flames. I'm getting tired of always feeling the same. But I guess I had it coming. 'Cause I'd be lying held myself, you know. Been counting every day since you walked out that door. I just wanted to come home. Don't know how to let you go. So I'm drinking whiskey on my own. There was a time when I couldn't see us break. Like when you were driving, sunlight hit your face and you smiled at me. Damn, what I'd give to be, yeah, back in that car with the sunset behind us. I shouldn't be talking, but I can't help myself, you know. Been counting every day since you walked out that door. I just wanted to come home. Don't know how to let you go. So I'm drinking whiskey on my own. I'm drinking whiskey on my own. Yeah. And I'd be lying to say you're the problem. You shouldn't be calling, but I can't help myself, you know. Been counting every day since you walked out the door. And I can't help myself, you know. Been counting every day since you walked out the door. And I just wanted to come home. Don't know how to let you go. So I'm drinking whiskey on my own. Thought I was losing who I call myself today. In this world of illusions, didn't dare to sing my name. That was when you came along, and I don't know where I would be or where I'll go if you weren't standing next to me. Your arms have carried me for miles. Here's where I belong. Life can be unfair. I just couldn't handle it. Still smell the bitter taste of misery and unfaith. I just need to love you like I do. 'Cause I don't know where I would be or where I'll go if you weren't standing next to me. Your arms have carried me for miles. Here's where I belong. I've been running away from now and everything I've seen, recalling the things I won't remembering a feel I can't deny it, just wanna hide it and let it go away. But you have shown me that I can be free and face the world again. And I don't know where I would be or where I'll go if you weren't steady next to me. Your love will carry me for life, and I don't know where I would be or where I'll go if you weren't steady next to me. Your arms have carried me for miles. Here's where I belong.